Hi, guys, welcome to Legal Buggle, your daily legal fix. So, today we'll be discussing the emergency of 1975, which is often regarded as the darkest period in the Indian history. So, in the early hours of June 26, 1975, the entire nation was taken by shock when it was declared on the All India radio by the then Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi that the President has proclaimed emergency and there is nothing to panic about. So, 45 years ago, on 26 June 1975, the then President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, on the advice of the then Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi, had proclaimed national emergency which lasted for 21 months. During this dark period, the elections were suspended and civil liberties were also curbed. It is often alleged that the emergency of 1975 had been imposed by the government of that time for their own ulterior motives. Now, according to Mrs. Indira Gandhi, primarily there were three reasons for imposition of the emergency. Firstly, she said India's security and democracy were in danger owing to the movement launched by Jay Prakash Narayan. Secondly, she was of the opinion that there was a need for rapid economic development and upliftment of the underprivileged. Thirdly, she warned against the intervention of powers from abroad which could destabilize and weaken India. Now, apart from this, it is considered that there were various socio-economic factors due to which India was in a very weak condition, especially since the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War and the staggering influx of the refugees. In addition to this, the US government too had stopped all the aids to India, leading to an increase in commodity pricing and general distress among the people. A slow industrial growth, coupled with a high rate of unemployment, along with government's move to freeze the salaries of its employees, also led to widespread discontent. Also, in 1972 to 73, the monsoons caused a delay in the food grain output. So, these were the few socio-economic conditions of that time which led to India in being a very weak position. The dispute following the elections of 1971 are often said to be the main cause behind imposition of emergency by the then president on the advice of prime minister in 1975. Let's see how. So, in the 1971 parliamentary elections, Raj Narayan had contested against Mrs. Gandhi from the Rai Bareli constituency of Uttar Pradesh, and he was confident of his success in the elections. However, the results of the elections saw triumph of the Congress party with a sweeping majority and therefore re-election of Indira Gandhi as the prime minister of the country. Subsequently, Raj Narayan filed a petition in the Allahabad High Court wherein he accused Mrs. Gandhi of indulging in various electoral malpractices such as bribery, usage of government machinery, and utilization of state resources. On 12th June 1975, the Allahabad High Court found Mrs. Gandhi guilty of indulging in the electoral malpractices such as misusing government machinery, under the Representation of People's Act 1951. So, therefore, the court held that Mrs. Gandhi cannot continue as the Prime Minister of the nation, and further, she cannot contest elections for another 6 years. Of course, aggrieved by this decision, Indira Gandhi appealed against the said ruling in the Supreme Court. However, at that time, as the Supreme Court was at vacation, it granted a conditional stay on the execution of the High Court's order. And it said that Indira Gandhi could remain a member of parliament but could not take part in the proceedings of Lok Sabha. And it also ordered the parties to appear before the court on 11th August 1975. Now, this date, 11th August 1975, will assume a great significance. We'll see how. So, while on one hand, appeal of Mrs. Gandhi before the Supreme Court was still pending, on the other hand, Jai Prakash Narayan led a huge political rally in Delhi's Ramlila grounds on 25th June 1975, wherein he announced a nationwide satyagraha for Indira Gandhi's resignation. However, on the same day, President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed declared a state of internal emergency upon the Prime Minister's advice just a few minutes before the clock struck midnight. Now, as soon as the emergency was imposed, post midnight itself, the electricity to all major newspaper offices were disconnected and were restored only 2 to 3 days later after the censorship apparatus had been set up. Further, on June 26, a large number of opposition leaders and workers were arrested, and the Union Cabinet was only informed about it at a special meeting at 6 am after all this was over. So, as soon as the national emergency was proclaimed by the President of India, all the powers were concentrated in the hands of the Union government, and the government assumed mammoth powers restricting the fundamental rights of the citizens during the said period. It is also said that most of Mrs. Gandhi's political opponents were imprisoned during the said period, and the press was also censored. Apart from this, this period also saw shambolic forced mass sterilization campaigns spearheaded by Sanjay Gandhi. Therefore, this period saw a violation of a sundry of human rights and is considered as one of the most controversial times in the independent India's history. 11th August 1975 was the date of hearing in the Supreme Court for the appeal which was filed against the judgment of the Allahabad High Court, by virtue of which Mrs. Indira Gandhi had been unseated as the Prime Minister of the country. However, right before this date of hearing, the government had attempted to oust the jurisdiction of the courts altogether from deciding the election dispute by passing a law, and this very law had been challenged in Indira Gandhi versus Raj Narayan. So on 10th August 1975, the President assented to the 39th Constitutional Amendment Act 1971. Now, this act inserted Articles 71 and 329A, wherein it was provided that disputes regarding the election of four high officials, that is, the President, Vice President, Prime Minister, and Speaker of Lok Sabha, should be adjudicated by whatever authority and procedure as provided by law. Now, In simple words, this implies that in case of any disputes arising out of the election of these four high officials, it would not be the authority of the judiciary to decide the dispute. Rather, the said dispute would be adjudicated by an authority and procedure established by the legislature by passing a law. So, this in effect means that the legislature, the government itself would decide the authority and procedure for deciding the election dispute and not the court. Article 329A, Clause 4 declared that the matter pertaining to the election of these four high officials would be unjustifiable in courts of law, which obviously mean that the judiciary would have no jurisdiction in deciding such election disputes. Of course, this in effect also invalidated the judgment of the Allahabad High Court, by virtue of which the election of Mrs. Indira Gandhi as the Prime Minister of the country had been struck down. Subsequently, Article 329A, Clause 4, that had been inserted by the 39th Amendment, was challenged in the Supreme Court in the case of Indira Gandhi versus Raj Narayan. The court gave its decision on 7th November 1975, wherein the court upheld the contention of the petitioner and declared the impugned clause 4 of Article 329A to be unconstitutional. Please note that entire 329A was not challenged in Indira Gandhi versus Raj Narayan. Only Article 329A Clause 4 had been challenged, and the same had been struck down as unconstitutional by the apex court. Another notable feature of this case is that this was the first instance wherein the landmark decision of the Keshwanand Bharti case was applied by the apex court. For those of you who don't know, the famous basic structure theory was propounded by the Supreme Court in the famous Keshwanand Bharti case. So, the Supreme Court in the landmark case of Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Raj Narayan struck down the impugned Clause 4 of Article 329A to be unconstitutional, wherein each judge has had his own reasoning behind the said decision. Justice Y.V. Chandrachud emphasized on the fact that separation of power is a part of the basic structure of the Constitution, and the 39th Amendment was in violation of this very principle, as it intentionally transferred a purely judicial function into the hands of the legislature by providing that the election dispute of the four high officials would not be decided by the judiciary, rather, it would be decided by an adjudicatory authority established by law passed by the legislature. So it actually ousted the jurisdiction of the courts, and hence it should be struck down. According to Justice K.K. Mathew, without a judicial remedy, elections would become a mockery, and he was of the opinion that a healthy democracy can only function when there is possibility of free and fair elections. Justice H.R. Khanna was of the opinion that free and fair elections are an integral part of the basic structure of the Constitution, and held that Clause 4 of Article 329A goes against the basic structure. Now, Chief Justice A.N. Ray and Justice M.H. Baig although they did not categorically hold Article 329A Clause 4 to be in violation of the basic structure, but they disagreed with the amendment in spirit. Further, Chief Justice Ray found that this amendment had violated a basic feature of rule of law. So, this was all about the emergency of 1975 in India. For more such videos, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.